Enter J. Abrams. Enter J. Abrams. There would have only been a couple of cameos from known Trek characters. There would have only been a couple of cameos from known Trek characters. Captain Kirk's great-great-grandfather might have been played by Christopher Walken. The script had relatives of both Kirk and Spock as major characters. The character of the designer of the Warp 8 engine, a Vulcan named Skan, was previously established in Star Trek Roman III, The Search for Spock as Spock's grandfather. The climax of the film, Skan joins Tiberius Chase, a Maori ensign named Og, and a character named Lieutenant Jax on a dangerous mission into the heart of Romulan territory with an improperly acquired Starfleet vessel called the USS Spartan, leaving the film on a cliffhanger. Chase's friendship with Skan is an affront to Chase's xenophobic father, Otto. In the excerpt from the 50-year mission in The Hollywood Reporter, Jendresen reveals who he imagined would play this ancestor of James T. Kirk. I was just absolutely convinced there was only one guy to play him. And that was Christopher Walken. Star Trek. The Beginning was going to be the first installment of a prequel trilogy. Jendresen came to Paramount and laid out his vision, a prequel set in the time between the end of Enterprise and the initial 1965 Star Trek pilot episode, The Cage. For the first time ever, Star Trek would dramatize the pivotal Earth-Romulan conflict that paved the way for the creation of the United Federation of Planets. It was sort of like having an encyclopedia. This encyclopedia is missing the letter T. There's a gap, Jendresen said. Most crucially, The Beginning would be the first installment of a trilogy telling the story of Captain Kirk's distant ancestor, Tiberius Chase, which explains Kirk's wacky middle name, an Earth Navy officer who desperately wants to be accepted into the new exploration organization called Starfleet. To find a way into the material as a non-fan, Jendresen looked to classic heroic literature. Speaking of the early stages of development, he recalled, I'd ever so loosely fashioned the first one on the Iliad, and the sequel would be ever so loosely based on the Odyssey. I would love to leave the hero and his crew stranded and having to make their way slowly back to Earth, having no idea whether Earth exists or not. It's going to take them years to get back on this crippled ship. The film would be set in the more militaristic world of the prequel future first hinted at with the creation of the Mako Space Marines in Enterprise. The Makos would be brought back for the Beginning, befitting the gritty tone of the movie. Jendresen would have to sell his ideas to Berman, McCluggage, Kerner, and top executives at Paramount, including DeLine. What he would encounter in that meeting was not what he expected. Berman was, in Jendresen's eyes, perfectly pleasant, but he seemed vaguely disinterested. Everyone else did, too. I've never been in a more preternaturally dead room than this one, Jendresen recalls. At the end of his vibrant pitch, DeLine asked how long it would take to write the script. Jendresen said 8 to 10 weeks, to which DeLine explained that he needed it fast. With an executive shuffle on the way at the new Paramount Pictures, the careers of everyone involved would be at stake. In 2005, Star Trek Enterprise was cancelled. Debuting in 2001, mere weeks after the events of September 11, Enterprise was an attempt by Rick Berman and co-creator Brannon Braga to reboot and refresh the Trek franchise on TV. After 7 years of The Next Generation, 7 years of Deep Space Nine, and 7 of Voyager, it seemed that it was time to give the series a fresh coat of paint. That meant Enterprise would be a prequel in which the Federation didn't yet exist and humanity was still a newcomer on the galactic stage. It allowed the show to be grittier, more visceral, and more indicative of the current state of humanity instead of focusing on the polished, evolved humans of the 24th century. Despite a talented cast led by Scott Bakula of Quantum Leap fame and a significant budget, the show never caught on with viewers or critics, and the show was canceled after 4 seasons. 3 years after Star Trek, Nemesis, the final film adventure for the next generation crew, had flopped at the box office, Star Trek was now completely off the screen for the first time since the late 1970s. At the same time, Viacom was planning to split up its entertainment properties between TV and film. Star Trek had benefited from corporate synergy within Viacom. Star Trek's TV and film franchises both operated under Paramount Pictures, but when CBS and Viacom split up to become separate entities in 2005, that meant Star Trek's TV rights went to CBS, and the film rights went to Paramount/Viacom. 1 year after Enterprise was canceled by UPN, the future of Star Trek was both uncertain and divided.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care, bye.